Ninjas have fascinated us ever since our childhood, having captivated our imagination with their fantastic abilities and enigmatic personalities. They've been used in pop culture in various capacities, from comedic roles like Beverly Hills Ninja to stuff that's far more gritty like the animes we're going to be talking about today. As you might have guessed, the ninjas on our list today aren't here to make you laugh or even protect you. These Shinobis excel at one thing, and that is the art of murder. All of these animes on our list today feature extreme violence and gore, and are definitely not for the faint of heart. These aren't your ninjas from Naruto who defeat their enemy with the power of friendship. These are cold-blooded killers who will maim and dismember every last one of their foes. In today's marvelous video, we bring to you 10 of the most ultra-violent retro animes that feature these legendary warriors. They set the trend for some of the biggest names in the industry to follow in their footsteps, as you'll find out during the course of the video. As an added bonus for the history buffs, most of the settings for the anime in this video happen to be the various eras of feudal Japan. There are many underrated gems featured on our list, so be sure to watch the video right till the end. So, without wasting another second, it's time to put on your ninja gear and prepare your shurikens as we dive into the dark and gritty world of history's most famous group of assassins, the Shinobis. Anyways, before we get too deep into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Basilisk, 2005. If you're looking for a series that's not just all about the action, but has an equally engaging plot attached to it, then Basilisk is going to appeal to you. This ultra-violent manga series, based on the 1958 novel by Futaro Yamada, is written and illustrated by Masaki Segawa. It's a semi-historical piece based on feudal Japan around the end of the Sengoku period. After Tokugawa Ieyasu takes over the reign of unified Japan, his aide and legendary ninja Hanzo Hattori manages to broker a peace treaty between two extremely powerful shinobi clans called the Iga Subakure and Koga Manjidani. These two clans are stuck in an ancient blood feud, and these ninjas aren't just your stealthy shuriken-tossing assassins, they're individuals who possess extraordinary powers bordering on the supernatural. After a period of tenuous peace, just as the hostility between the two clans seems to be coming to an end due to the budding romance of their respective heirs, all hell breaks loose. Tokugawa Ieyasu, having stepped down from his role as shogun after handing over the reins to Hidetada, is worried about his son's succession. The retainers begin picking sides with Ieyasu's numerous grandsons, and the fledgling Tokugawa shogunate looks like it's going to be torn apart. In order to prevent this, Ieyasu decides to end the peace treaty between the two ninja villages. He then orders each village to send 10 fighters each to participate in a no-holds-barred mortal combat to determine the next ruler of Japan. The winner of the tournament is also promised 1,000 years of grace by the shogun. As old rivalries ignite, the two star-crossed lovers, Genosuke and Oboro, must lead their respective groups of warriors to decide the fate of the shogunate and Japan. What follows is a brutal showdown filled with blood and gore as both groups cut each other mercilessly. The anime tackles themes of the meaning of honor and fate versus free will as this tragic tale unfolds. The series would receive an anime adaptation by Gonzo in 2005 that ran for 24 episodes. The series stands out for a great mix of period drama, tragic romance, and martial arts with supernatural elements. It's a dark and gritty series that marries supernatural and political tropes with realism. The world of Basilisk is defined by the violence that gave it birth and shows a Japan that has still not fully emerged from the Sengoku era. If you're in love with feudal Japan and want an anime that's not just about action sequences, of which Basilisk has plenty, this series is for you. Ninpu Kamui Gaiden, 1969. Moving on from the supernatural to something much more grounded, Kamui is a 1964 manga series written by Japanese mangaka Sanpei Shirato that follows the life of a renegade ninja called Kamui. It would spawn an anime adaptation under Fuji Films called Ninpu Kamui Gaiden that ran for 26 episodes. This would be followed by an anime film called Kamui Gaiden Tsukihagi no Maki. The series had a massive influence on later creators, including names like Katsuhiro Otomo, Akira, Masaki Segawa, Basilisk, and even Masashi Kishimoto's Naruto. The plot revolves, as we mentioned, around Kamui, a ninja belonging to a lowly family in the Japanese feudal system during the Edo period. He decides to one day abandon his clan and flee from his murderous lifestyle, having grown weary of it and wanting to explore the wide world and learn more about life. This is a choice, however, that comes with serious repercussions, as doing so is punishable by death. Through the eyes of Kamui, we get to see the life of people during this era, as the series takes great pains to show us details like tax collection, crop inspection, and the role and corruption of bureaucracy of the time. All the while, Kamui must outwit or face off against his former clan members, who view him as a traitor and are on the hunt for his head. One can see the author was heavily influenced by Marxist ideology in the way he presents the upper ruling class in this series, with the majority of villains being oppressive landlords and corrupt samurais. The violence on display is realistic and raw. It's painful to witness and leaves a lasting impact on the audience's psyche. As a man who seeks to escape violence, Kamui is constantly drawn towards it, begging the question, can someone born into violence ever live a normal life? There are no heroes of justice here, with most characters being morally gray, including Kamui himself, who can appear cold and ruthless at times, adding that extra depth and layer to their personality. The 1989 anime is atmospheric, steadily paced, and asks a lot of philosophical questions, which often draws comparison to another stellar anime film called Rurouni Kenshin, Trust and Betrayal. It's one of the pioneers in the Gekiga movement in manga, which emphasizes a more serious tone in its works. If you're looking for a more realistic take on ninjas in a bleak and violent setting with morally ambiguous characters and a heavy focus on philosophical narratives, then the Kamui series will not disappoint. Ninja Resurrection, 1997. Often mistaken for a sequel to the acclaimed anime film Ninja Scroll, Ninja Resurrection is its own entity, though no less gory or violent. It's a two-part anime OVA series directed by Yasunori Urara and was marketed by its North American distributor, ADV, as a sequel to Ninja Scroll, leading to this confusion. The series plays heavily into religious and supernatural themes set in the real-life historical Tokugawa shogunate era. It's loosely based around the historical event called the Shimabara Rebellion, where local peasants and ronins, led by their leader Amakusa Shiro, would lead a Christian rebellion against the local daimyo and his oppressive policies. The rebellion would be violently suppressed, resulting in mass executions and witch hunts of fledgling Japanese Christian communities. The anime presents the historical figure of Amakusa Shiro as the antagonist of the series. It captures the tragic tale of this God-fearing righteous man's fall from grace after he feels abandoned by his faith and God following the failed Shimabara rebellion. As the walls close in around Shiro with the warrior Jubei along with his 4 ninja compatriots hunting him and the remaining survivors of the rebellion down, Amakusa offers to commit senpuku in exchange for the lives of the innocent he was sheltering. However, after learning that the ninjas had already slaughtered 2 of the children, Amakusa loses his mind and channels evil, attacking the group. Despite a hard battle, Jubei manages to mortally wound Amakusa, who, in his final desperate moments, is tempted into the service of Satan. Having been tempted into being reborn as the vessel for Satan instead, a year after the rebellion, he resurrects as a demonic warrior, hell-bent on scourging his enemies from the face of the earth. With the hour of Amakusa's vengeance at hand, the legendary swordsman Yagyu Jubei Mitsuyoshi must put an end to the former warrior of God and his infernal legions before they take over Japan and turn the country into hell on earth. All of this blood and carnage is brought beautifully to life by the high-quality cell animations of the time and a stellar cast of voice actors. The anime's art style is very reminiscent of the Ninja Scroll film and will immediately appeal to those who like that movie. It's replete with characters with supernatural abilities, along with religious and occult imagery. The anime doesn't shy away from scenes of rape, graphic torture, mutilation, and body horror. Some of the scenes in the anime are genuinely hard to watch, with things like exploding children shocking the sensibilities of the viewers. It's one of the most visually striking animes to have come out of the 90s. The series often draws comparisons to the likes of Wicked City, Genocyber, and Demon City Shinjuku for its ultra-violent theme. For fans of brutal action and horror flicks based loosely on real-life history, featuring demonic ninjas, this one's a must-watch. Karasu Tangu Kaburo, 1990. Based on the manga written and illustrated by mangaka Buichi Terasawa in 1987, the Karasu Tengu Kaburo was later adapted into a 39-episode anime series followed by an OVA. When the demon lord Kuroyasha Doki begins resurrecting his powerful underlings in order to unleash hell on earth by opening a spiritual portal, it's left up to a divine ninja warrior to put a stop to this madness. This divine ninja warrior has the blood of the mythical Tengu, were humanoid bird-like creatures from Japanese folklore. It's his destiny as the one who has inherited the blood of the Karasu Tangu, along with the help of 4 warriors who also represent the 4 guardian yokai of the different directions and symbols of Chinese cosmology, namely Byakuo the White Tiger, Seiru the Blue Dragon, Suzaku the Red Phoenix, and Genbu the Black Snaky Tortoise. Karasu Tengu Kaburo fights Kuroyasha's army of Onis, yokai, and demon ninja. This series is a perfect blend of dark fantasy and Japanese mythology. There's a lot of religious and folk symbolism throughout the series. The anime has a serious tone to it with a decent amount of violence and grotesque imagery. There are a lot of deformed, mutated demons who die a violent death, including exploding bodies, in the series. While the violence might not be on the same level as something like Ninja Scroll, it's still not a child-friendly show. If you're not into that distinctively stylized 90s anime or are a fan of series like Ninja Scroll, Hokuto no Ken, or Devilman, this series will appeal to you. Yotoden, 1987. We have yet another semi-historical period piece here, which was set during the Sengoku period in Japan. If you're an anime fan or a Japanese history buff, you know this period of Japanese history was dominated by one man, Oda Nobunaga, on whose back the reunification of Japan truly happened. In Yotoden, Nobunaga is the fabled all-conquering warlord, but the twist lies in the fact that he is demonic in nature. In fact, he's portrayed as a sadistic demon who takes great pleasure in taking and destroying human life. Under the guise of conquest, Nobunaga has been razing Japan to the ground, killing its people, raising the dead, and corrupting nature along the way. He leads an army of demonic generals with supernatural powers and an army of undead soldiers. Nobunaga also has in his service possessed ninjas who serve his dark will. This iteration of Nobunaga is more akin to a horror villain than a brutal warlord. With Japan on the brink of collapse, it's left up to a young kunoichi, aka a female ninja called Ayame from the Koga clan, whose village had been destroyed by Nobunaga right at the start. In order to stop him, she must join forces with 2 other destined ninja warriors, Sakan Hayate and Ryoma Kogure. These warriors carry with them 3 mystical demon blades entrusted to each of their clans, which are said to have the power to kill Nobunaga. With all of their villages in ruin, the 3 warriors, bonded by trauma, must travel together to end the evil warlord's reign. The anime features a heavy, brooding atmosphere filled with scenes of death and carnage. There's plenty of grotesque character designs and scenes of war that make this anime an intense watch. It's replete with decapitations, destroyed villages, and grotesque demonic transformations, which were considered extremely graphic for the time. The series doesn't glamorize ninjas as many other media feature them. Instead, it shows them as a narrative tool to show sacrifice and tragedy. With its classic 80s cel-styled anime, Yotoden is beautiful to watch, filled with fluid sword fights and unsettling horror imagery. This OVA series would later be edited into a feature film that stays faithful to the OVAs. This anime is often cited as the precursor to the numerous ninja series that would come out later in the 90s. It's one of the most underrated dark animes of the 80s, and if you're a fan of tragic, mature war tales and old-school violent OVAs, you're gonna love this one. The Dagger of Camoi, 1985. Moving on once more to something a bit more grounded in reality, let's now talk about The Dagger of Camoi, a 1985 anime film based on the eponymous novel by Tetsu Yano. It follows the journey of a half-Ainu boy named Jiro, who gets caught in a web of deceit and conspiracy after he's framed for the murder of his adoptive parents. Taken in by a Buddhist monk, he's taught the art of ninjutsu in order to avenge the deaths he's been framed for while clearing his name. The monk is part of the Oniwaban group and has been secretly manipulating the events in Jiro's life in order to get his hands on an ancient artifact of great power. Set during the Bakumatsu era in the final days of the Tokugawa shogunate, this period piece delivers a brilliant peek into a time in Japan's history that has often been romanticized. As Jiro continues in his journey for truth and vengeance, he learns that the people he once considered his friends aren't really what they seem, as he must confront them. The Dagger of Camoi is a beautifully crafted tale set in a brutal world filled with betrayal at every corner. It's a masterpiece of the genre with a tragic tale wrapped in a historical setting and a coming-of-age story. The violence in this film isn't the shock-inducing kind found in gory flicks, but more of the type that shakes one's heart to the core, leaving one hurting long after the experience is over. This film's not to be confused with a later film called Legend of Kamui, which is a film based on Kamui Gaiden, which we mentioned earlier in the video. If you liked films like The Sword of the Stranger and Barefoot Gen for their anti-authoritarian themes, this film's a must-watch. It's considered to be one of the cult classics that came out of this golden era. Ninja Ryukendan, 1991. Ninja Ryukendan is an anime film based on the acclaimed Ninja Gaiden video game series. It serves as the sequel to the classic Ninja Gaiden NES game from 1991. The story picks up after the defeat of the primary threat in Ninja Gaiden 2, the Dark Sword of Chaos, simply known as the Demon. Ryu Hayabusa, the protagonist of the series, is pulled into another dark adventure after his friend Irene Liu of the CIA is kidnapped by a mysterious organization called the Biohazard. As the story progresses, we learn that this group intends to create an army of demons using the genetic material from the defeated antagonist. However, as Ryu sinks deeper into his mission, a much larger conspiracy is uncovered, with the heir to the Dragon Ninja clan having to pull out all the stops in his fight against evil. During the course of the film, Ryu battles corrupt CIA agents, cybernetically enhanced ninjas, and grotesque demonic creatures created by an unholy mixture of magic and science to prevent the rebirth of his old nemesis. With the stakes at an all-time high, all that stands between calamity and survival of the human race is Ryu and his dragon sword. As expected with any series based on Ninja Gaiden, the anime features brutal violence with lots of blood and dismembered body parts. It has a serious and gritty tone with elements of horror sprinkled all over it. The English-dubbed versions of the film were sold in America as Ninja Gaiden, the animated film. It's one of the most underrated 90s ultraviolent animes featuring ninjas. Blood Rain, Curse of the Yoma, 1989. Based on the manga written by Kei Kusunoki, Blood Rain, Curse of the Yoma is a two-part OVA that was released in 1989. The story follows the journey of a young ninja named Hikage, who is ordered to hunt down and kill his former best friend Maru, who is a Takeda ninja like him, for betraying the clan and murdering its patriarch. As Hikachi traverses the ravaged lands of the Sengoku era, he must fight both external and internal demons during his journey. Hundreds of dead warriors are being reanimated by demonic forces who are being fueled by the negative energy released by this bloody conflict. His friend claims to be a reincarnation of a demon lord who seeks to regain his power and remake the world in his own image. Hikachi must overcome his own lingering feelings for his best friend and take on the difficult task of killing the closest person in his life. Along the way, Hikachi must endure all sorts of tragedy while staving off Yomas and undead warriors from every corner as he descends into the nightmarish world where the dead rise from their graves, children turn into demons, and possessed old allies, causing Hikage to struggle to keep his own humanity in check. There's a lot of violence in this anime, including tons of blood caused by dismemberment, heads being crushed, and grotesque demonic transformations. It has the tone of a gritty 80s anime with a dark and haunting soundtrack that really drives the atmosphere of the series home. Once again, this is an anime that uses the Sengoku period of Japan to paint an eerie story filled with elements of horror in the guise of a ninja. It's a dark series with next to no bright spots for the characters that dwell in this world. The whole world has gone mad in this series, turning into a gritty setting that blurs the boundaries between reality and fiction. Hikachi is a troubled and disillusioned ninja who must come to terms with himself and his own inner demons if he's to have any chance of combating the evil yokai and putting an end to the terror of his former best friend. This is one of the most violent and gory ninja animes to have ever come out, and it surely won't disappoint fans of the genre. If you enjoy these types of animes that we're featuring in our video today, this one surely won't disappoint you either. The Puppet Princess, 2000. Once again set during the Sengoku era of Japan, The Puppet Princess is an ultra-violent revenge anime that features some of the most over-the-top and extreme displays of gore and violence. After her father is slain by a feudal lord named Sadayoshi Karimata, who coveted her father's life's work, which was warrior puppets, Princess Rangiku Awatari sets off on her journey to avenge her family and recover what is rightfully hers. Accompanying her are her father's three greatest puppet warriors, along with a vagabond ninja to protect her called Manajiri. With the two sharing a common enemy, they need to work together against brutal ninjas and other foes who stand in their way of getting revenge. The anime is replete with scenes featuring the puppets dismembering, decapitating, and impaling characters in a graphic display of violence and gore. There's a lot of collateral damage in the puppet warfare as innocents get frequently cut during the course of the battle, including children. The puppets are designed with humanoid features and armed with internal weapons, which give a vibe of body horror meeting clockwork technology in a deeply unsettling way. The fluid animation of the series is on full display, particularly during the puppet fights. Imagine Kankuro from Naruto, but on steroids and without any restriction on gore and violence. Based on a story by Kazuhiro Fujita, this OVA came out in 2000 and is definitely a must-watch for any fan of the genre. Ninja Scroll, 1993. We saved the best for last, as this list just wouldn't be complete without us featuring Ninja Scroll on it. Set once more in feudal Japan, this story follows the journey of a wandering swordsman called Jubei Kibagame as he fights a group of superpowered ninjas called the Eight Devils of Kimon. These infernal warriors are brutal, without a shred of mercy in their being, and have been tasked with overthrowing the Tokugawa shogunate. The Eight Devils of Kimon work under the Yamashiro clan, and their leader has a dark history with Jubei, who is also employed as a ninja of this clan. They intend to use the gold from their secret gold mine to fund Toyotomi's scheme of using the gold to buy advanced Spanish weaponry to overthrow the shogunate. While investigating the deaths of individuals who had been killed by the devils to cover up the gold transfer, a group of Mochizuki Koga ninjas are killed by the villains, leaving only one survivor, a kunoichi named Kagero. She is about to be raped by a devil named Tasai, but Jubei saves her. Having been caught up in this conspiracy, Jubei is blackmailed by a Tokugawa spy named Dakwon, who stabs the warrior with a poisoned weapon and offers the antidote in exchange for killing all the devils of Kimon. Following this, Kagero and Jubei set out on a journey as they battle one fearsome devil after the next in epic showdowns. However, little does Jubei know that his past is fast catching up to him as he confronts the leader of the Kimon devils, who happens to be a familiar face. This anime has been praised for its fluid cinematic animation, and the visuals for the anime still hold up to this day. The series is well known for its graphic violence, gore, and sexual content. It has all the trademarks of director Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who's also worked on films like Demon City Shinjuku, Wicked City, The Animatrix, and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, to name a few. Ninja Scroll is the definitive ultra-violent ninja anime that has defined the genre for a long time. Once again, we must emphasize that the series isn't for the faint of heart or those whose sensibilities are easily offended. If you haven't yet seen this masterpiece, well, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. Marvelous verdict! While the ultra-violent ninja anime flag is still being flown high by series like Hell's Paradise, these were the animes that blazed the trail for this genre during the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The ultra-violent scenes mixed with the beautiful fluid cell animation just gives these animes a timeless touch. It's something that most animes of today will never be able to replicate. Free from the burdens of censorship during their heyday, these animes never really pushed the boundaries regarding what was considered acceptable in anime and manga. Many of these shows, as we mentioned during the course of the video, have gone on to inspire some of our favorite franchises. The intention of this video was not just to create a list of the most ultra-violent retro ninja animes, but also to pay homage to these pioneers. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, how about checking out the rest of our channel? We post daily videos covering all of your favorite animes, mangas, and characters. Thanks for sticking with us right to the end of this video. We hope to see you soon in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay marvelous. That's all we got for you this time, but if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous night.